So I'm sitting there listening intently to my client. I'm a young therapist at the beginning of my career, and I'm trying really hard to be a good therapist, And I'm loving being a therapist. I love helping people, and I love seeing results. And I also love the way each session is like a puzzle or like a maze or, I don't know, a fascinating walk in the woods with someone down a trail, a nice, pleasant trail, fraught with all sorts of, twists and turns, and with discovery, and with love, and with pain, but ultimately with growth. How about that for a metaphor? So I'm listening to my client, and I feel like I'm doing really well. I'm being empathic, I'm attentive, she's telling me about her emotional experience. Everything is going according to plan. And then she says, "And that's why you're a terrible therapist." And then she really lays into me. She's super angry at me. She's not happy with me. And she knows exactly what to say to hurt my feelings. She's insulting me. She's telling me that I'm too young, I'm too this, I'm too that. I'm a terrible listener. I haven't listened to her at all. Everything I've done up until that point has been wrong. And my breath is taken away, and I start to panic. And I'm thinking, what? I'm a terrible therapist? Wait, I thought I was doing a good job. She accuses me of not knowing what I'm doing, and of not really listening to her, and of being a man who could never understand her. I'm devastated, and I'm terrified, and I suspect she's right. I'm a terrible therapist. She's right about that. In this episode, I will provide a self-analysis of my countertransference during that moment. This is a common psychodynamic practice to self-analyze. I will discuss what happened, my emotional reaction, what I did in the moment, my analysis of myself, my self-analysis, my analysis of my client, my plan for future sessions, and the eventual outcome. This episode is just for patrons of the podcast. So if you're listening to this and you're not a patron of the podcast, this episode will end early. If you want to hear the full episode, you have to become a patron of the podcast at patreon.com.